Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be playing some Fortnite. As you can see, I'm in a Battle Royale game, and usually I'm not in a Battle Royale game because I'm usually just playing creative mode because that's basically all I can play most of the time. But I'm going to be showing you guys how you can fix the problem of which textures don't load within your game when you're playing. Let's just land down here and I'll show you what I mean when textures not loading in. As you can see, you might think the textures are kind of glitched. Everything's blurred out. And if we actually land down here, we actually land down onto this monstrosity and blur of a game. You can see it's lagging a tiny bit. We just start hopping around. Now, this is... If you guys have been looking all over the internet, then this is because your CPU is probably 100% full usage and can no longer generate all the textures too fast. This is probably because your frame rate is way too high than your CPU can actually take on. So to demonstrate that, I turn my frame rate up to unlimited and turn VSync off just so I'm getting maximum frames out of my computer, and that's why it was causing that texture bug. Now, the way you fix that is that you want to turn down your frame rate and put VSync on. The reason you put that on is so that your CPU is not doing any more than 60 FPS. Now, some monitors are over 60 FPS, and which you might not want to put VSync on if your CPU is not really that good. So you can get like 120Hz monitors. VSync basically caps your frame rate at the same hertz as your monitor. So if your monitor is 60 FPS, I'd recommend putting VSync on to make sure it's always hitting that. And if you don't have VSync on, make sure you're turning your frame rate down. Let's say you've got 120 FPS set as your frame rate. I'd suggest turning that down to 60. Or if you're still getting the same problem with 60, you might have to go down to 30 FPS. Now 30 FPS is kind of unplayable. So if you're getting down to that point of only being able to play 30 FPS, then you're probably going to have to buy some new parts for your computer. Otherwise you won't really be able to play the game that well. And so yeah. If you're getting lag, that's nothing to do with the texture problem or your CPU. That's probably because of your GPU, and you can change some of these graphic settings down here like this. I just play most of them on low anyway, just so I can get maximum FPS and non-drop in any FPS. But yeah, if you really have to, then do turn it down to 30 FPS, but it's usually because your CPU can't handle the amount of frames that are coming in. And that's why it takes a few minutes for it all to load in. So just turn your FPS down and put VSync on if your CPU still can't run with VSync on, turn it down to 30 FPS. And it should be alright then. So if we press apply, VSync is on. Now if we go down to another solo game, you guys can see that it all loading perfectly fine. I'll be able to play the game instantly. And you guys can see that the game will be fixed. Now, if your computer is still not loading all the textures in at 30 FPS, I recommend you just not even trying to play Fortnite. If your computer is probably that slow, you're probably running something like a Celeron Intel integrated graphics or something like that. It won't render very fast. So you're going to have to be looking into buying a new gaming computer or something, otherwise you won't be able to play at decent speed. My CPU is not really that good. It's kind of getting old, so it's not really the fastest CPU. It lags quite a bit, so that's why, I'm getting these texture issues if I turn my frame rate up to unlimited. Usually, if you have a good computer, you can run your frame rate on unlimited, and it feels really smooth. But if your CPU is not really that good, then chances are you just want to play it on 60 FPS because you won't be really having a great time, and you won't be able to land hop drops like this. Let's say we land down here, you won't be able to land here anymore, otherwise you just won't have the chance of picking anything up. As you can see, when we land down, everything loads in perfectly, Yep, there's no glitch textures. We can run around here. So, like I said, there's loads of different blog posts about this, and most of them don't tell you how your thing is broken or what you can do to actually fix it. They just say what worked for them, and they don't have any idea of what happens. It's usually because your CPU is quite slow. So I'm going to be trying to see if I'm getting better CPU just so I can... Alright. I didn't even realise there was a clinger there, but yeah, I'm just going to try to save up for a better CPU, or you're just going to have to play or wait 2 minutes or land somewhere where nobody else lands. Otherwise you won't be able to play this game properly. And this also happens for other games as well. If you're getting the same texture issue on that, then it's probably because your frame rate's too high for your CPU. So you'd probably if you open up Task Manager, you'll probably see that your CPU's on 100%. That means it's like kind of overloading, and that's probably why the textures are not loading in correctly. So if this video did help you guys, then make sure you're liking and subscribing. Comment down below any other suggestions or bugs you want me to go through, and I'll try to find any fixes for them for you guys, so you guys can play Fortnite properly instead of having loads of lag get in your way. So that's about it for this video. Thank you guys for watching.